It's Monday, January 10th, 2011. I'm Kevin McShann, and this is the McShann Sports Beat Report.
It's all thumbs up for Jason Garrett. He's been named the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys after serving as the interim coach for the last 8 games of the 2010 season. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones made the announcement on Thursday. It was Jones who dismissed Wade Phillips as head coach when the Cowboys were 1-7. With Phillips, Garrett served as the team's offensive coordinator. Garrett becomes the first head coach of the Cowboys that played for the team. He was a backup to Troy Aikman in the 1990s. As the interim coach, Garrett snapped the team out of its losing ways, winning 5 of the remaining 8 games. His losses were by a total of just 7 points. Jack Briggs, The Associated Press.
Oftentimes, patience can teach us a valuable lesson that in certain instances it's better to lay in the weeds, observing others and serving different masters, all with the goal in mind of one day being at the head of the class yourself and leading the troops. For Jason Garrett, he's paid his dues as a player and an assistant coach, moving up through the ranks, patiently awaiting his opportunity. And now, on Thursday, Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones rewarded Garrett for his patience, leadership, and wisdom by naming him the 8th head coach in Dallas Cowboys history.
I'm going to introduce someone that you know very well. This introduction brings a head coach that is better known to players and fans of this organization than any Cowboys predecessor at the time of his introduction. Jason Garrett is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He's the third man to take this job with a winning record while directing an NFL team as head coach. He's the second man to take the job of the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys that has played in the NFL. He's the first man to take on this responsibility who played for the Dallas Cowboys. He's truly one of our own. We know him well for the qualifications that he has for this position. I know that he has spent his entire life preparing for this day, and he's well qualified. He's the son of an NFL assistant coach and who's also one of the greatest scouts in the history of the NFL, Jim Garrett. The profile that I was looking for, thinking about our head coach, is someone that has tremendous drive and energy, someone that can communicate effectively with today's players. Someone that commands the respect of the team in the meeting room, the locker room, and on the field. And someone that has walked in the same shoes as the players that he's going to coach. Someone who spends every waking moment thinking of what he's going to do to make the Dallas Cowboy football team the best it can be. Though our 2010 season did not play out in any way in the manner that we all would like, it did give us the opportunity to evaluate Jason Garrett under pressure and pressure situations that come with being an NFL head coach. He passed the test. He has my respect. That says it all right there. Ladies and gentlemen, one of your sports colleagues, new coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Mr. Jones and the entire Jones family for this opportunity. I'm very familiar with this organization, having played here, having been an assistant coach here, and for the last half of this season being the interim head coach. And I have tremendous respect, appreciation for the history and tradition that goes with this organization and for all the great coaches, players, and teams that have gone before us. It's my job as the head coach of this football team to do everything I can each and every day to put my best foot forward so we can put our best foot forward to get the Dallas Cowboys back to the level that we're capable of being. I was fortunate to be on teams here in the 90s that went to the top of the National Football League. We're the best. I understand how those teams played. I like to refer to it as the Cowboy way. When I think about those teams and the level we played at and how we went about it each and every day, those are some of the models that I think about for this football team. And again, we're going to work very hard each and every day to try to get back to that level. My emotions this week are very similar to my emotions that we had during the middle of the season when I was named interim head coach. That decision was made on a Monday afternoon. We were playing the New York Football Giants on Sunday at 4:15. And by Wednesday morning at 7:30, we needed to hit the ground running and get to work. And that's the way I feel right now. I'm very honored to have the trust of the Jones family to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, but I also understand it's time to get to work.
Garrett signed a 4-year deal. Financial terms of the contract weren't immediately disclosed. However, he still had 1 year remaining on his assistant coach's contract, which paid him $3.5 million as the team's offensive coordinator. As for his coaching staff, Nick Eatman, a staff writer for DallasCowboys.com, says that there may be several changes on the way. The Cowboys currently have 4 assistant coaches without contracts, including wide receivers coach Ray Sherman, who is one of 2 candidates other than Garrett that Jones officially interviewed for the job. The other is Miami Dolphins assistant coach Todd Bowles. By interviewing those 2 men, Jones satisfies the Rooney Rule, which requires each team with a coaching vacancy to interview at least 1 minority candidate. The other coaches without contracts on the Cowboys staff include Wade Wilson, the quarterback's coach, Chris Bonial, the kicking coach in Big D, and the brother of Garrett, John, who coaches the tight ends. In addition to the coaches without contracts, the Cowboys also face the possibility of losing 2 of their current coaches under contract, Reggie Herring and Brett Mackey, who are being sought after by the Houston Texans, who hired former Cowboys head coach Wade Phillips to run their defense earlier last week. The team had to make a quick decision on Garrett's future because he was being sought after by other teams to fill their coaching vacancies, according to Jones. Garrett fielded questions from the media concerning why he turned down other opportunities to become a head coach to stay with the Cowboys, his relationship with Jerry Jones, and how it'll change now that he is the head coach, and the direction he wants to see the team go under his leadership.
Turned down the couple of opportunities you had in 2008. Is this why you turned it down to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys one day?
Oh, I think there were probably a number of reasons. I had great visits with the Baltimore Ravens and the Atlanta Falcons about their head coaching positions. I appreciated those opportunities. I think you make decisions intellectually. I think you make them with your gut and with your instincts. And it just felt like it was the right thing to do at the time to stay here with the Cowboys. I'm certainly awfully pleased with the outcome.
Jason, coming up through this organization, but also playing elsewhere, coaching elsewhere, can you talk about, do you feel you're equipped to bring in some ideas from other organizations and weave them in with this culture and make it a little bit more seamless as far as some ideas you want to bring in and do going forward?
Absolutely. I had a great experience here as a player. I played here for 8 years in the 90s. And one of the hardest decisions I had to make in my life was to leave this organization. And I had a great opportunity to go play for the New York Giants. I did that for 4 years. I ended up playing a year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Miami Dolphins before coaching for the Dolphins for 2 years. And I consider those 8 years away from this organization really, really valuable to my development, certainly as a football player and as a football coach. I got a chance to be around some of the league's best minds, to see how different people do it, see how different organizations do it, see how different coaches operate, and I learned a great deal from those guys.
You ran the club with the attitude that you were in charge from day one. So what's left for you to change? What more of a stamp can you put on the organization?
Oh, I think think anytime you come into a situation in the middle of the season, there are some things that you want to change, some things you want to implement, and we did that. We did that quickly. I have great respect for our players and for our coaches for allowing those changes to happen. It's hard to do. Like I said, the announcement was made on a Monday afternoon, and we were back to work going in a little bit of a different direction on Wednesday morning. It happened quickly, and I have great appreciation for the approach that everyone took in the organization. But as the off-season unfolds and we continue to evaluate the way we do things, who we do things with, we'll continue to make some changes to get it the way we need to get it. No real plans yet. We'll evaluate everything in the organization. We've started to do that, the evaluation of our players this week, and we'll evaluate our systems of offensive football and defensive football and how we handle our special teams. And then, with that comes the evaluation of coaches and understanding that there's always change in the National Football League at the coaching level. And we have to respond to some of those changes.
We had the dual position of offensive coordinator as well.
Yes.
Jason, you've had a relationship with Jerry in a lot of different roles in the last 20 years. Now that you're in this role, how much do you think your relationship with Jerry will change or needs to change?
Well, first of all, I have an immense amount of respect for him as a person and as a professional. I've said this privately a number of times, and I've said it publicly before, too. They're going to write a history of the National Football League at some point, and the chapter is going to be pretty big about Jerry Jones. The impact that he's made on this league has been significant. The impact he's made on lives of a lot of people has been significant. I've been fortunate to be one of those people. I was fortunate to be one of those people as a player because I understood, like my teammates understood, like our coaches understood, the level of commitment that he put into this thing. We talk to our players all the time about, spilling your guts on Sunday afternoon for 3 hours to be the best you can be, so you can look at that mirror afterwards and be proud of what you see. And I think Jerry Jones's commitment to greatness for the Cowboys and really for the NFL is really unmatched. It's unmatched, and I had a great viewpoint as a player, as did my teammates and our coaches. We saw that up close throughout the 90s. And I've had a chance to see that as an offensive coordinator the last 3 years, and for the last half of this season as the interim head coach. So there's great respect there. There's a very high standard that's set, and that's the only way to do it. That's the only way to have it. And anybody who's been around him, had the opportunity to work for him, understands that, and we appreciate his commitment to winning. To answer your question, just when you're an assistant coach, when you're an offensive coordinator, and then you're a head coach, the responsibilities that you have are different. The opportunities to be involved in decisions are different. I think the approach is the same. It's always been a very honest relationship that Mr. Jones and I have had with each other. I've always told him what I thought about everything. And when you become the head coach, now you're privy to some more different kinds of decisions because you have different responsibilities.
To classify the Dallas Cowboys' 2010 season as a colossal disappointment wouldn't be an understatement. They severely underachieved in 2010 and didn't even come close to making the playoffs or that Super Bowl run to host a Super Bowl in their own backyard as their flamboyant owner would have hoped. With that being said, they did manage to wipe off some of the egg off their face from their 1-7 disappointing start, with Garrett at the helm of that transformation, and now he gets to move to the first chair in Dallas to lead the Dallas Cowboys. It's one of the most premier jobs in all of sports. The expectations have been set high in Dallas, and rightfully so. That's a talented football team that has fallen woefully short of everyone's expectations. With new leadership now in place, we'll see if Garrett is the piece that pushes them over the top. Kevin McShann, Sports Beat, reports.